You're in the rant wormhole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. Today's rant comes from Michael Belknap, who wants me to rant about magical girl anime versus edgy magical girl anime. You know, I wasn't into magical girl anime at first when I got into anime because I thought it was too girly, and eventually I came to like things that are girly, and I really it was Heart Catch Precure that turned me on to watching magical girl shows because of the incredible action sakuga in the show and the fact that the artwork is so fucking cool and delightful, and it's got this retro aesthetic. You know, I was a huge fan of Kashern Sins, so when I found out it was the same character designer, I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch this. And what I gradually realized is that you know, QC magical girl shows are a whole ton of fun, just fun shit to watch. I like kids shows. I am an infant adult. I guess it's because I don't take anything I watch seriously. Like, let me back it up. Anime doesn't matter. Anime is all bullshit. All art is bullshit. It's all fucking crap. It's all garbage. It doesn't matter. It's you do it because you don't have enough things to occupy your time. If you have too much free time in your life, you consume media, and it can help you in a lot of ways. It can be very meaningful to you. It can teach you how to change as a person, or it can reinforce your identity and keep you on track, you know, remind you of what your life is supposed to be like, and all that good shit. So it has value. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but at the end of the day, you know, if you've seen enough media, then you already know the fucking point. You don't need to watch more. There's not a whole lot of new things being expressed. There's only so many core things to the human experience that are really, you know, explorable. So I think that when you reach a certain point, as a media consumer, you no longer care about like learning new things or like seeing deep storylines or being like, oh, I fucking watch good anime that is for adults. It's like I just want to watch stuff because it's entertaining and engaging. You know, if it has something interesting to say, that's cool. Maybe it'll reach me on some level, but I don't care about that. So like with magical girl shows, a lot of them are just focused on being whimsical and fun and enjoyable to watch on a moment to moment basis. You know, like Japan puts a lot more effort into their children's media than America does, because American stuff aimed at kids, it tends to be about just distracting your children or like having them be babysat by a show so that you don't have to constantly be watching them. You know, you could just sit them in front of something and they'll stare up at it. But Japanese kids shows, there are plenty like that, don't get me wrong. But there's also a subset of them that are more about like trying to instill some sense of value in your children. Something, you know, trying to not just give them something to watch, but something that will incline their parents to select that over other things, because the parents can also sit through it because it's entertaining or it's well written or it's, you know, colorful and cool. It has good designs. It teaches your kids something that you want them to learn, you know? So, like, when you watch magical girl shows, like, yeah, a lot of them are basically the same thing. They're all very long, so they're difficult to just, like, watch in the way you would watch a typical anime. Like, for me, I marathon everything. So, like, marathoning a 50-episode magical girl show is always going to be a bit of a chore, because again, they're not really meant to be like these deep involving stories with all these great characters that you're going to fall in love with. It's more about like having something to watch every week that is entertaining and pleasant. And so like, you know, if you watch these bit by bit, if you just throw on an episode of Precure or throw on an episode of Aikatsu or, you know, whatever, like, you can have a fun time. And some of them are really aesthetically appealing. I love Cardcaptor Sakura. That one's more story driven, but like it's more about how great the directing is, the pacing of episodes, the excellent color palettes, the fact that the characters are lovable and you want to watch them because they are people who it feels good to see. You know, you're excited that you get to spend time with these characters who you love because they're written to be lovable. So like, I think that the core of Magical Girl, what makes it appealing is just that it's so easy to watch. It's so easy to feel good watching these shows because the characters are likable, the situations are simplistic and don't task you to, to get all emotional about shit. They're just pleasant little experiences. Well, at the same time, the aesthetic appeal of Maho Shoujo has extended far beyond the audience of children's shows, And while as an adult you can watch all these magical girl shows and just, sort of calmly experience 1 or 2 episodes at a time, again, it's difficult to marathon this shit or to take it seriously as a story that you're supposed to get engrossed in. So I think that the edgy magical girl shows are basically like, hey, are you a grown-up who doesn't have time to watch 700 episodes of every season of Precure? Do you want something that you can marathon in a night and get like some emotional catharsis out of and really feel like a sense of progression and maybe it's more attuned to your sensibilities. It deals with issues that you deal with, or it's more about like taking this aesthetic that you want to like and putting it in a show that you want to watch. But I think that obviously there's good and bad ones. Madoka Magica being extremely successful led to a lot of imitators, and a lot of those imitators didn't look at it and think, wow, that's a well-told story with an aesthetic that a lot of people resonate with. They went, edgy magical girls will make a lot of money. And so they made 1 million of them, and a lot of them are not good. So, I said in the last rant, if you make something good, it will be good, and that's always the bottom line. I think both genres are valid and are both interesting and have good shows in them. Edgy magical girl is sort of a newer genre. The ones I enjoy the most are the ones that, they're not just like when I look at Maho Shoujo's site, like the show is edgy as fuck, but what it has at the forefront is entertainment value. It's not just about being an edgy magical girl show. It's about being a fun, entertaining, edgy magical girl show that you want to sit through. Whereas like Maho Shoujo Raising Project, I felt like that one was like, hey, we took magical girls and made it really sad. And it's like, well, I don't care. It's not entertaining. It's boring. It feels like cry porn. And like there are some people who like that. Some people who just like to have their emotions manipulated, and that's what they value in shows. So it's still possible to be successful with that kind of show. But I prefer something I can just throw on and be entertained. This was a weird rant.